Welcome everyone. In this video, we will explore the functionality of proximity sensor. So it is the eye of twin kids. As we see our surrounding and observe, the twin kids are able to see their surrounding by use of proximity sensor. The sensor has an infrared light, as you can see here. Let me check the module from close up. As you can see, there are two different glass. So one of them is receiving the signal and the other one is sending the signal. So we have two different modes, A and B, I will explain, and a dimmer which adjusts the sensitivity of the proximity sensor. So let's give some background information about our module. As I mentioned, it measures the distance of the obstacles in front of it. So the dimmer on top of the module, it adjusts, it controls the sensitivity of the sensor. And when the sensitivity is higher, meaning that when you turn the dimmer clockwise and increase the sensitivity, the sensor detects objects at a greater distance. So I will show this by trying it. And as I mentioned, there is a switch on the right side which writes mode A and mode B. So if you want to use the proximity sensor in mode A, the module stops sending signal when it detects an object. So if in mode A, if it doesn't see anything, it continuously sends the signal 1. And if it detects an object in front of it, it stops sending the signal. And if you switch it to mode B, the module transmits the signal when it detects an object, meaning that when it sees an object, it sends the signal 1. Until it sees something in front of it, it doesn't send anything at all. So we can try the functionality of the sensor by using a bar graph. It is a very nice way to explore the functionality of proximity sensor. You can try as well. So let's try it together. So I will just connect it to bar graph, and the sensor is here. And as you can see through the camera, it is sending the infrared light. So it works with an infrared light. You cannot see this light here with naked eye, since infrared lights are not in our visible spectrum. So what happens? So let's position this to on top of maybe twin module like this. Okay, and let's try. So right now it is in mode B and it doesn't send signal, right? And when I approach my hand towards infrared sensor, it starts sending the signal. And as you can see, let me switch position. So I will come closer, and as you can see, as I get closer, the number of LEDs on bar graph increases. But it is very close, like it is the gap here is very small. So I want this to detect my hand from greater distances. So what I need to do, I go to dimmer here and I turn it clockwise to increase the sensitivity. This time when I will approach to infrared light to when I will approach to light, you see it detects my hand from greater distance. I don't need to come any more closer, right? And since there is a sunlight, daylight, and there is infrared light in the sunlight, as all of we know, so if you are working with proximity sensor in a under the sunlight, daylight, the functionality actually is limited a little bit. Normally, in dark environments, proximity sensor can detect obstacles from 30 centimeters. You can try it, but right now I have a sunlight in this room, and therefore it detects from closer spaces. But it's a very nice sensor, and it is like a park sensor of a car. Maybe I can also use buzzer. So when I will approach to sensor, I will start to hear buzzer, and I will start to see bar graph LEDs turned on. So you can ask children to build their own park sensors by implementing these modules on back of a car. It's a nice way to explain real life examples like this. So let's have a look at the how it works. So as I said, like in real life, we have these proximity sensors all around us. Like if you want to clean our hand in automatic faucet in a toilet, or when you are entering from an automatic door to a shopping mall or to your home, I don't know, the proximity sensor detects you coming, and then it opens the door, or it start giving water to your hand. And as it is shown in here, let me put it like this. So as it's shown in here, infrared transmitter and receiver. We have two different optic glass here, as I showed, and one of them transmits the signal and the other one receives. So the one that is visible right now is transmitting signal, meaning that it is sending infrared light in its direction, and the receiver here is collecting the signals reflected by an object. So you can observe the functionality by yourself, and if you want to switch modes, you can switch to mode A. This time you will hear sound and you will see colors like this until it sees an object, and when it sees an object it becomes silent and we cannot see any colors. So mode A and mode B it can be used in different experiments like this. And another fun fact about infrared light maybe, so we see only little amount of the light spectrum, like the visible spectrum, which we have maybe like colors of rainbow, until red. After red, we have infrared lights, and after violet, we have ultraviolet lights. These lights cannot be seen by our naked eye, but some of the animals are evolved to see such colors. So, for example, even though you can see infrared light with your bare eyes, you can use camera to see it, as I showed you. So, if you open power, and if you check, you can see I cannot see this light with bare eyes, but camera collects this infrared light. So, and different animals can see lights of different colors. Some birds can see ultraviolet lights that humans cannot see, because they when they are flying over lots of trees, lots of flowers, they need to find something to eat. So this ultraviolet vision helps them to spot their the other animals that they can eat in the jungle. So it's a very nice way to explain children how proximity sensors work. Thank you for listening. See you in another bit.